How do we go from this to this? All because of this. Let's find out. So today I'm going to be talking to you about how something so small could do so much damage, and that isn't actually what she said. Now, this video is going to be about a pretty sad topic of water damage and how much damage it can actually do to your property. So I guess we should rewind a little bit back to kind of during COVID in 2020. Me and my wife, we spent so much time, like anyone, just watching TV and watching YouTube, and we spent so much time watching videos and thinking about designing our dream kitchen. And then we kind of made that dream a reality at the end of 2021. And during that time, everything was great. It was only maybe 3 or 4 months after, in middle of May 2022, that I noticed water staining. And I can't actually show you that water staining because they've now chiseled all that off of the wall. But I've got a little bit of a video montage later that I'm going to do a bit of a talk over, just showing you some of the water damage that's actually been done and what we're having to be done in the meantime to resolve that damage. Now, thankfully, it's all being done under the house insurance. And because of that, it obviously takes a lot longer because any insurance company never wants to pay out any money. So in the meantime, when we were going through this process, we've had to have like people coming in and looking under the floor for the detection of the water and kind of working out where it was coming from. It was actually coming from our central heating pipes, which were laid in the concrete floor. And as a result, we've had to kind of semi-destroy our kitchen and chisel into the brand new floor that we had done to find the culprit. And this culprit was this heating T-junction. And there was a tiny little hole that had just happened over time. It just corroded and it had just been leaking out water. And that water over time, probably over the course of, I don't know, 6, 8, 12 months, nobody really knows how long it was leaking, just literally just spread and then just started to seep up into the walls, under the carpet. It spread into my living room. It's just caused quite a lot of damage. And I just wanted to go through this process and just show people that how important it is to, when you're getting work done in your house, use a plumber. Or if you're really good at DIY, then at least double check what you're doing, because just having a tiny leak over time does such a significant amount of damage. So at this stage, we have actually got had all the walls taken back by about 1 meter high in all the places where the walls were completely saturated to over 90% water content, which is actually a lot. The people that came and did all this work said that they need about 10% moisture. Anything below that is acceptable. You might tell me different, but I'm only going off what they said. And yeah, so we're in the stage now where we've actually got 2 dehumidifiers running 24 hours a day in our home, which sounds like small diesel generators running all night and all day. And they're doing a huge amount of work. I've already emptied one of the containers, and that unit had been running for about 40 hours and it had already sucked out about 13 litres of water out of the air. And the other unit has been running not quite as long because it's in our living room. And as a result, we actually want to watch some TV and do some things and actually live in that room. And that's maybe done about 10 litres worth of already. So just between them, we're pushing nearly 25 litres worth of water that is drawing out of the air. And as a result, it's pulling down the humidity of the room to about 20%. And that's just going to be drawing out the moisture out of everything else. So it's just kind of an ongoing thing now. We've got to have these running for 2 weeks. And we've had them in about 2 days now. So we've got about another 12 days to go. They'll come back out and they'll check it. And if we need to have them running a bit more, then we will. Because we just need this to be done correctly. So once that's done, then starts the job of actually rebuilding the kitchen and having the walls replastered and decorating. So yeah, it's a bit of a job to do, but like I said, house insurance is covering it. We actually haven't got to get any contractors or any tradesmen ourselves to do it or project manage any of it. So that's at least something we haven't got to worry about. So yeah, I'm just now gonna show some footage and do a bit of a talk over on it, just showing you all the damage that we've had to have more damage done to the house to make it better in the meantime. So If you like the video, give it a like. I really appreciate it. If you want to subscribe, it'd be fantastic as well. If you want to take the mick out of me in the comments, I love a bit of banter, so please do crack on. Until then, I'll see you then, guys. Cheers.
So here we have my living room, and in here we've had to take off quite a lot of the wall around the log burner because of the water basically being drawn up the wall as it was being more and more saturated underneath the carpet. So here we have one of the dehumidifying units, and you can already see it's got quite a lot of water in there. We run this as and when we can, mainly during the night and when we're working from home during the day. I believe it's been running for about 35 hours at this point, and it was telling us that the temperature in the room was 22 degrees and that it had 25% humidity. So it's doing a great job already of pulling all that water out of the air and out of the wall and the floor. Now, we've had to also have this part of the back wall chiseled out on this side of the door and the other side of the door because of basically, again, the wall was completely saturated and the plaster was just ruined. Now, you can see the World War I style trench in there. That's not a feature of the house. That's something that we unfortunately had to have done. So I didn't pull this entire unit out because it was quite heavy, but there's enough of an airflow behind there that it's going to be pulling the water out of the wall, thankfully. Now, we had quite a lot of testing done on the walls and everything to work out exactly where the bad parts were. And as you can see, all the bits where it's been chiseled out, like here as well, we had to actually remove that part of the peninsula and pull it away from the wall. Luckily, we didn't actually break the countertop because we have a waterfall edge on there. And yeah, it's quite painful to look at, but unfortunately, we need to, as I already said earlier, destroy more of the house before we can get it back to the place that it used to be in. So yeah, you can see how much damage we've had to pull out, all the plaster, basically all the way up to the ovens. Now here we have the other dehumidifying unit, and as you can see, it's pretty much nearly full. I think there's about 12, maybe 13 litres of water in that. And it's been running all the time. So at the moment, 46.1 hours, 22 degrees and 25% humidity. So we keep all the doors shut. So it's doing its job so far. And back to the World War I style trench. Here you can see the T-junction that was replaced. We just got another plumber in just to do it while they exposed it. There was basically, as soon as they cut away from it, there was just a puddle of water underneath it. And as you can see, these pipes are laid just basically in bare concrete with no protection. So it's kind of a ticking time bomb maybe if something else is going to happen. But touch every single piece of wood that this doesn't come to it. So you can see, yeah, they had to channel out a lot because they couldn't actually find out where it was. We had to have all the floor taken up. You can see basically it's absolutely soaking wet with water, how it's completely saturated into the concrete and the latex underneath it. And as we just come up here, you'll see the difference in the watermark. So there we have it.